everywhere.
We didn't know anything about black folks because we never really saw them.
You just did not go to Forsyth County.
In my mind, the black people live somewhere else. I thought it was that way everywhere.
People of color crossed the county line at risk of their lives. And I remember being in the back of a pickup truck in my baseball uniform and walking along behind us. The next group in the parade were Klansmen in white hoods and robes, waving to the crowd. Forsyth County wasn't a place where people had to hide that sort of thing.
In the Jim Crow era, Forsyth County, Georgia was a sundown county, a whites-only zone where it was either illegal or unsafe for black people to be there after dark. There were times like this all across America at the time, but what made Forsyth unique is that it stayed that way for 70 years, well into the 1980s.
One of the frequent questions I got was, why in the world did your family move there? I think one obvious answer is white people in America don't have to know a whole lot about a place that they move to. The risk, the peril, and threat of physical violence in this community was directed at people of color. So it wasn't really directed at us.
Patrick Phillips.
We didn't know anything about black folks because...
All right, so first and foremost, double honors to the apostles and elders and teachers of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Brother Hawashai Zion coming through to do this lesson. All right, so this is the reason, ultimately, why you need to understand. The Lord did all this. All right, these sundown towns, man. There's many of them, man. This kid's gonna lay it all out. I really don't want to hear him rapping this shit, man, to be honest. But just take a look at this.
We never really saw them.
You just did not.
I'm not even gonna play it. This shit's annoying.
We don't have Volvos here. We don't park Volvos here.
Well, if y'all have to slow down in this neighborhood going down that hill right there.
I was going like 12
You
miles per hour.
shut the fuck up when I'm talking to you, boy. Bitch made boy. Well, if y'all have to slow down in this neighborhood.
What's up, TikTok? Check the sign out, Vidor. I'm in Vidor, Texas. That's right, Vidor, Texas. You want to know what this town is? This town here is a sundown town. For many, many years, if you was black or if you was Hispanic, you could not come to this town to hang around after nightfall. In the daytime, you might be okay, but after dark, you better not get caught hanging around Vidor, Texas, man, because this place right here is very high in racism. You had a lot of the KKK members that live here in this town. And of course, around Texas, we got other sundown towns. You got Jasper, Texas. But things are different now, don't get me wrong. Everything is just, it's a little different now. Racism gonna always be around, but it's not quite as bad as it used to be. But you got Jasper, Texas. You got Vidor, Texas. There's another town between Houston and San Antonio. There's a town called Cut and Shoot, Texas. These are your sundown towns. But I know one thing, and I've seen it for myself over the years, right here in Vidor, there used to be a sign on the side of the road said, "Do not let the sun go down behind your black ass." And that ain't no joke. You ask some of the people that live not far from this area, or even some of the older folks, they'll tell you the same thing, because that sign was there for many, many years, and then they finally took it down. But yeah, they did have a big billboard sign on the side of the road that says, "Do not let the sun go down behind your black ass." And they meant what they said, because this town here, man, they had a lot of Ku Klux Klan members that lived here. And like I say, this was a very dangerous place to come and hang out at, especially after dark. But now things are different now. It's a lot different. You can pass through here in the daytime or stop at the gas stations, the grocery stores, or whatever. It's not quite like it was, but you still got a select few people here that would kind of look at you sideways, when you walk up in these stores. But everybody's not bad like that anymore. Some of those older folks that was real racist, a lot of those people done died off. A lot of them done passed away. You got a lot of these youngsters here now, so I don't know if I don't think it's bad like it was. So and many years ago there was this lady that got murdered here, a white lady. She got murdered. Her name was Amy Page. and they was trying to find out who murdered this lady. It was many, many, many years ago, and they never did find out who did it. But some people speculating it was her boyfriend that did it, but nobody knows. And then again, they said, you know, it could be anybody. So, yeah, you see that red sign right there, red and white? They have a picture of Amy Page. She got murdered. No, excuse me, her name's Kathy Page. I kept saying Amy, Kathy Page. She got murdered many years ago, and it caused a big uproar here in the area. You know, they trying to find out who murdered this lady. And like I say, racism always been bad in the area anyway. So, man, all I can tell you is maybe things have changed. We don't know. So just go out there. Just if you do go through this city, man, through this little town, just be careful. Y'all take care of it.
That's right, man. It all goes back to the scripture, you know, because the so-called white man, not only is the devil that the Bible speaks of, meaning he's a deceiver, straight facts, okay, but basically, you know, he's the physical manifestation of the devil, you know. And here's where it all basically came through, that jealousy and stuff, even in the womb, man. This is Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, right? Because he had light skin, you know, looking albino. And that's just what it was. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So now, you know, bear in mind, man, I should have read 22. It says, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. So yeah, so they were basically struggling inside the womb. And he came out first, you know, but it was really supposed to be Jacob. So, you know, the scriptures basically had, you know, going through and fast forwarding through, Jacob ultimately inherited the blessing and Esau was rejected. And that's the reason why, you know, he was pissed off, because he sold his birthright and basically kind of got swindled out of it, but in righteousness, because he initially, you know, pretty much took the birthright unrighteously and wrestled him out of it. And wrestled him and came out first to get the birthright, but it wasn't supposed to be that way. And that's why there is so much animosity, you know. There's so much animosity that they have sundown towns. Let's take a look at this sundown town. Let's see how many. Sundown towns. Let me see sundown town locations. All sundown town locations. All right, let's see if they have a listing of it. They're probably going to try to erase this out of history, but it's definitely here. See, this is something you might not have known. So it says Sundown Towns redraws the map of race relations, extending the lines of racial oppression through the backyard of millions of Americans and lobbing an intellectual hand grenade into the debates over race and racism today. From Maine to California, thousands of communities kept out African Americans, or sometimes Chinese Americans. They say Jewish Americans, but that's not true. They never have done that. They never persecuted them, ever, because they're white. It says, by force, law, or custom, some towns are still all white on purpose. It says their chilling stories have been joined more recently by the many elite and not so elite suburbs like Grosse Pointe, Michigan, or Edina, Minnesota, that have excluded non-whites by gentler means. Now, when I began to research, I expected to find out about 10 sundown towns in Illinois, in my home state, and perhaps 50 across the country. Instead, I have found more than 440 in Illinois and thousands across the United States. This is their story. It is the first book ever written on the topic. James W. Lowen. Okay. So it says historical database of sundown towns. These are all the places. That's crazy. So you could just click it and it'll show you. You know? So yeah, brothers, that's all I got for you right now. I just wanted to kind of bring that out. You know, there is more information on this. But we could see was what.
I hear the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend.
Oh, look at you.
I hear the train.
All right, brothers, so that's about it, man. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.